Welcome again in this channel. This is another chapter for class 12th Indigo, and in this very chapter you will see that this chapter deals with the freedom struggle and how struggle for peasants become a kind of a direction for Gandhiji to frame Indian freedom struggle. And we'll see how the people of Champaran district they faced a lot due to the mainly the farmers, how they faced a lot due to this landlordship of Britishers. So the story describes Gandhiji's struggle for the poor peasants of Champaran. You know, Champaran is in Bihar, and over there, as there was land which was divided into large estates first, and these estates were owned by British people. When there was rule of Britishers in India, you'll see that there were large estates, large land holding was there, and these holdings were usually of Britishers. The owners of these estates were these Britishers, and the Indian tenants worked on these farms, and we can say these estates. And now at that very time, chief commercial crop was indigo. As I will tell you what indigo is. Indigo is a kind of a crop which is used to dye, but earlier it was used, but now we have synthetic this indigo, which was discovered or invented, we can say developed by this Germany. So at that very time, each and every farmer had to cultivate 15% of indigo on his land, and he has to surrender its entire harvest. That means whatever harvest was there of indigo, he has to just surrender this harvest to Britishers. And later on, the rest of the crop was divided. So it was a great problem which these people of Champaran suffered. But what problem came with the development of synthetic indigo? Let's see. So Germany developed synthetic indigo, as I told you. So no need of cultivation, so peasants were relieved of this. They were released from these duties. But it's not that it was over. No. They need to pay compensation of this 15% cultivation now. They demanded compensation, these Britishers, from these people, because earlier it was British who used to export it from India to different countries. But as Germany came up with synthetic indigo, to different countries. But as Germany came up with synthetic indigo, it was possible for everyone to develop their own indigo. So and now it was not possible for Britishers to export. So what they did, they demanded compensation from these poor farmers. So Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper, a farmer, a peasant we can say, and he met Gandhiji and compelled him to visit Champaran. And because Gandhiji was having a busy schedule at that very time, but he took a little moment and just visited this Champaran. When he went over there, he took rest in Rajendra Prasad's house, where he was mistaken as a poor peasant by the servants because of his humble and simple attire. As you know that he always used to wear dhoti and khadi dhoti and kurta, and he conducted a kind of a survey where he see that there are a lot of problems which are being faced by the people of Champaran, or we can say peasants of Champaran. So what he did, he decided to start his struggle from there. So it was arrival and nature of this mission as it spread this very fast, because the mission was to get justice for these people. So it spread like a wildfire, and lawyers came to the front to help, and peasants were there as well, but lawyers came to the front to support as well. But Gandhiji here first rebuked these lawyers because they used to demand high charges from these peasants to settle down their cases. So what he rebuked all these, and they assured him that they'll help. And he stressed on the counseling of these farmers to boost up their confidence, so that they'll be able to fight their own fear, because they had a fear of British. So they should be able to fight their own fear. That means they should be able to stand on their own feet. So made arrangements for education, health, hygiene, and for these poor families of their poor peasants. What Gandhi did, first of all, he said that we need to just educate these people, because when education is there, they know their rights and what their regulations are. So we need to educate them, we need to give them proper health and hygiene. So he started this work. So he gave the peasants a lesson of self-reliance. That means every time we can't be calling anyone else that you need to help me. We need to stand on our own feet. We need to be self-dependent. So self-reliance should be there in a human being. So this was taught to the peasants by Mr. Gandhiji. So what he did, Gandhiji waged war against landlords for about a year against their atrocities and brought justice to the poor peasant. That means it was a struggle of 1 year. After a successful struggle of 1 year, he was able to bring justice to these poor peasants. They no more have now any kind of fear, or they now were able to boost up their confidence and fight against the evil. If we take the analysis of this very chapter, we'll see that in order to write on Gandhiji, Lois, who is our writer, Lois Fisher, what he did, he had to visit, and he visited in 1942 to the ashram Sevagram, and where he was told that about the Indigo movement, and he wrote about it. And Indigo movement was started by Gandhiji, and he wrote about this very in this chapter. So the story revolves around the struggle of Gandhiji and other prominent leaders in order to safeguard sharecroppers from the atrocities of landlords. So this story revolves around a particular problem which was of sharecroppers, what kind of problem they face. It the other prominent leaders with Gandhiji revolved around this very thing. You will see that different episodes in it, how they worked for the betterment of these peasants. The main theme of the chapter is how effective leadership can overcome any problem, as shown by Mahatma in securing justice for the oppressed in Champaran, Bihar. You will see that the message usually given by this chapter is that how an effective leadership can prove better and how it can overcome any problem which is faced by the people. If we will have a confident and an effective leader, definitely we will be able to secure justice for anything. We will be able to just give justice to the oppressed one. So the message conveyed through the chapter is that it's not impossible to conquer and win over the powerful. If the people get together and fight against injustice, no power in the world can stop them from achieving what they desire. So the message given through this very chapter by Lois Fisher is that what we need to do, it's not possible to conquer anything. It's not impossible to win over the powerful. But what we need to be, we need to be together. We need to be, we can say, in a harmonious mode. We need to fight together, and we need to fight against injustice. And if we will be together and we will be united and we will go against any of the powers, no power in the world will be able to stop us from achieving our feat. So it's possible that we can achieve anything, but the condition here is that we need to be united and confident. The Champaran episode was a turning point in the history of freedom struggle of India. So it was a kind of a turning point. Here, this movement emboldened the peasants, and they got to know their rights. So as it was that common people came to know about their rights, so it was more educative and awareness among the people. We strengthened freedom struggle, and each and everybody was aware that these Britishers, what they do, they work on their own profit. They don't think about our welfare. So we need to get rid of these people. So what they did, they made Britishers realize that Indians no longer have courage to oppose. They no longer will be just mum. So they have courage to oppose to their what kind of schemes they just to make, or what kind of laws they make. These Indians were ready to oppose each and every law now. This episode gave Gandhiji a clear direction to launch the freedom struggle as well. So earlier there was freedom struggle was going on, but it was not in a proper manner. There was no unity in it. But now this movement gave direction to Gandhiji as well, that how he will launch this freedom struggle, and hereafter you will see that how difference after Champaran, this episode, how the difference came into this freedom struggle, and how we were able to achieve the feat of freedom. So that was all in this very chapter. Hope you liked it. Thank you very much.